discount. So that means they'll be able to get any account size for free. Most commonly for something like this, it would be a specific dollar amount discount. So $100. So if you're charging $100 a year for I don't know, a 100 gig account or a 10 gig account, then that would be the discount they would get. So they get, you can also put this to more users. So if we go back, we could say, all right, first 100 people to come sign up on the website gets a $100 discount or free, whatever it is. And there's a time lapse on it too, so it only works to the end of the month. So we can move this to the end of the year, so it's relevant. And that's it. So you have here, it could show you, how many redemptions there were for this account, and you just send out this code in your mailer to people to use, or you can just give it to them if you're in person. Admin users, this is just for you and your staff. So do you have additional users who are going to come in and make edits to the content section? So if we go to the content manager, those of you familiar with Joomla and WordPress, it's going to be very familiar. Michael asked where they enter the code. On the sign-up page. So when they go to pricing and sign up, when they select a plan and they go, if it's not PayPal standard, they'll have it available right here. So it'll just come up as soon as they select a plan. And they enter the code, and then it'll identify if it's a valid code or not and what they get for it. So the content manager is here. So we ask you to choose from one of our templates and then choose some colors for the template and send us a logo to plug in. If you want custom web design work, we have a partner that we can refer you to who does all of our contracted web design work. But you go and you can view for instance, the home page, number of hits, your metadata, last modified by, so that's when additional admin users come in handy, created by date, different content. So if I come in here and hit edit, then you can see this here. So it goes through that way. Alex asks, can we see any examples of partner website integration? Well, it's kind of a tough thing to say because our program is that we're rebranding for you, and people often want to keep that hidden. Any existing partners that currently have a web package, mind if we pull up their website? Oh, we got a winner. Mike, you're too kind. What is it? It's like compbackup.com or .us? Is that what it is? Here. So you see that Comp Backup, they actually just removed all the bottom section that we had by default and then just tied in this login screen, which you probably don't want to do anymore. You probably want to put it back. The login through here will get you the same way. But again, you can use the web package however you see fit. So it's not designed to take over your main website. It's not designed to do anything of that nature. It's just so that you can have a means to connect with people and manage your accounts. Oh, great. So here's another one, EOCSecureVault.com. I think we've already been there recently. So here's another one. So it doesn't look like there's been a lot of customization on it. Still pretty much the basic stuff. We have some partners who really start building out additional menus so that they have new pages like why our backup solutions or feature lists, anything like that. Industry-specific pages is always a good one. Thank you both for letting us look at that. You guys are great. Okay, so you can come in through here, and I always recommend before you go in and start changing it up a lot, you just copy this source code into some type of notepad file. Alex says thanks also. Yeah. So copy your code into a notepad file and save it as a backup. Go figure. I'm recommending that you back up your work. So save it so that if you do make a change, like say Michael did, and they deleted all the tables that we had by default, he now has an easy way to revert back to what it was originally. Or yeah, or you're going to be calling our staff, and they're not going to be happy to do it for you, and blah 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 blah. But Mike, seriously, if you want that stuff back, I can always just copy this for you and send it back your way. All right, pricing question. $379 a month for 1 terabyte and 5 servers. Can I add more servers? Absolutely. That's our base package. You can actually buy more cloud space for as low as, I think, $1.30 per gig per year. So it really, you can get your pricing down for one ServerSave license plus like 250 gigs of cloud space. You can have for as low as like $40 or $50 a month with the additional options we have. Again, when you call in the partner specialist, they're going to go through a full ROI with you and identify which program fits you best. All right, I'm going to jump right into the software. So you have your ServerSave licenses here. This is how you monitor it. We've gone over, and I appreciate everyone being so interested in this, but let's get to the software client. All right, let me pull up my remote session. Okay, so we're now on a Server 2008 box, R2, and I'm signed into ServerSave, so we see a little bit of branding. The branding is a lot lighter on ServerSave because your end users aren't using it, you are. So we do heavier branding on the file and folder program. So here's an application view. We also have the setup backup view, which is just kind of by use case. Are we backing up a laptop or a PC? And it asks us what program we want to use. Most of you will be familiar enough after you first start to kind of get through here. So online backup and recovery, this is what your existing partners already have. It's our file and folder system. So you wouldn't install both this and ImageStream on the same machine. If it's a server, you're pretty much going to use ImageStream. If it's a workstation, you use online backup and recovery. And you probably wouldn't even have the ServerSave executable here. Bare metal image creator, this is the new stuff. This is what I'm going to show you in a minute. Exchange granular recovery, also new stuff, also going to show you in a minute. Management agent, this is Pulse. So you install this at each machine where you're running backups, and this allows you to view the events and also the backup session details. And also push out additional backup policies. If for whatever reason you want to change it or have more control over it, you can do that. So bare metal image creator. You launch this, and it gives you a wizard. You have your Windows volume manager, backup jobs that are created or not created, destinations, and backup histories. You don't really need to go through many of these because the wizard pretty much handles everything. So if we go to, let's create a backup job. We open this up. It's going to ask you, all right, what do you want to back up? So it's going to ask you to select one or more volumes. You wouldn't select the system reserved because that's what's created upon recovery of the system, so you don't ever need to do that. I'm just going to select the exchange volume here. So we go next. Good question from Alex. Are there any mobile management tools available? Alex, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean, like managing the mobile applications or being able to manage things from your mobile device? If it's the latter, I load up all of our portals on my iPad on a regular basis. And they work fine. So now it's asking, okay, well, where do you want to point this backup? So you can define network locations. Zacco says, oh, it's shadow protect, and then you back it up somewhere locally and stream it to the cloud. Absolutely. So shadow protect is what's licensed for a ton of different providers out there, and they do local backup, image-based backup really well. We take it off-site. Follow-up question, do you not have a VSS agent like Mosey? Well, Mosey's really not doing what we're doing here. We do work through VSS, but what Mosey does is nowhere close to what this is going to do for you. So we select the volume. For now, I'm just going to select my F drive, just a virtual drive I have on here. You can schedule it, so weekly or monthly, depending on what you want to do. Weekly was typical when you had a restoration method where you had to restore each subsequent backup manually. So if you wanted to get to Wednesday, you had to first restore your full backup from Sunday, and then every incremental you ran in between then and where you want to get to. You don't have to do that anymore, so more commonly you do a monthly schedule now, where every month, say on the 1st, you run a full system backup, and then you do incremental backups throughout the month. But you can still do weekly if you want, it doesn't matter. But this is just kind of an older strategy, usually limited media devices, that sort of thing. So monthly, hit next. You can select your compression, your encryption. We don't recommend that you encrypt locally because we're going to encrypt the data before it goes off site. So encrypting encrypted data just takes a long time, and it's not good for performance because it takes a long time. Commands, you can do pre-snapshot, post-snapshot, post-backup commands. So you want to script something out, restart a system, whatever you want to do. There you go. You can set your retention period. So a couple questions on that already. You just say, all right, we're going to delete both the full and the incremental if it's longer than 3 cycles. So cycle meaning monthly or weekly. So you can do only incremental or both full and incrementals. So I'll not encrypt that. You can split the image up. Again, this is also kind of a historical thing, but it's familiar. So you can do that, but it's not really needed. Image stream, for those of you who are familiar with our file and folder program, we always recommended that once you create an image of something, then you have a flat backup file, you can take it off-site with our system, but we recommended that you split it up into smaller chunks, so maybe like 5 or 10 gig increments. That's what this is going to do for you here, but ImageStream is designed specifically to handle large files and also large numbers of files. So that's why ImageStream is going to be what you install when you're on a server, and the file and folder program is what you do everywhere else. So next, we get a summary. And now it's here. Got a couple questions. From Michael says it's all multi-threaded software. Well, yes with our stuff, but a lot of this still relies on some Windows software that's not really multi-threaded. So as you're aware of shadow copy, the more programs you have with VSS, the more errors VSS throws. So you want to make sure that this is the only program using it. When you have multiple programs using it, it just starts making mistakes. So essentially, you would just turn it off. And then I think the other questions we already asked. Echo's asked about manually deleting backups if they fill up your local backup location. I think the retention answers that. And all right. Another question. Typically, where would this image be stored? No problem. So again, we would typically store this at a staging machine because pushing a backup off, initial backups take a while. There's local procedures to go, and especially with the security that we have in place with the encryption and compression, the local procedure can take a lot of system requirements and system resources, especially when we're talking about image systems. And you always want a local backup. Like that's never a, do we want it, let's hem and haw about it. No, that should be a standard part of your program. So if we go back home here, I got a server save. pull up the